Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Your video is about to start on all things Social Security. Just a quick reminder, we are here every day, 9 a.m. with some sort of tip or tidbit for you. And we are here generally on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for live stream, live Q&As on everything Social Security. So feel free to pop in a timely fashion, and I will answer your questions there too. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, happy Sunday Social Security Roundup for the week of, where are we at? All right, so we last did this on Sunday the 18th. So this goes from Monday, May 19th to Saturday, May 24th, yesterday. Okay, so on Monday, we had a discussion about what happens when the SSA staff denies you your right to terminate your appointed representation. It's not terribly unusual for someone to want to just not find that the relationship is working out right, whether they're not feeling communicated with or they don't think the representative is doing sufficient work, which may or may not be right, but nonetheless, each side has a right to terminate. Nobody's forced to be in the relationship, with the exception of after a hearing has been scheduled. I generally understand now that a representative cannot terminate the client once the hearing has been scheduled. That doesn't mean, though, that the client can't terminate the representative. Okay, so that whole video was about if a staffer says you can't do it and only the lawyer or the representative can do it. False. So we give you a little bit on that. The next day was, sorry, I have a cold. May 20th, Tuesday, we went over the evidence to support work disruptions that could happen from your symptoms. And the two that well, I don't know if we talked about more about this. I don't recall, but I know we discussed a little bit about IBS and bladder impairments that can generally cause not only just pain, but excessive time in the bathroom, and how you might be able to get evidence to support that fact. Because as you may know, being off task from work, if you can prove it, can itself be disabling from being able to do all jobs. So it can be very important. It is a very tricky thing to try to prove, but we try to do it quite often because it happens to exist in a lot of impairments. Okay, so that was Tuesday. Wednesday, May 21st. What did we do in the Social Security world? Yes, we talked about the immense power, your small impairments that you might not be thinking about a lot, but how they can go towards helping your mental health claim. That has part to do with the extremely stringent amount of proof and limitation necessary to prove all jobs are outside of your purview when it comes to mental claims, and how the physical things may be necessary. This would be particularly important, guys, for those over 50. So we go into that a little bit. Never forget your small physical. Okay, the next day must have been, is that Thursday? 22nd? Yeah. What is your doctor's role and intent in your Social Security disability claim? Some people think it's more than it is. Some people think it's less than it is. So we get into that a little bit. Friday was fraud law review, and this concerned a New Jersey man, my old state of New Jersey, who got 16 years sentence for Social Security number fraud and stealing, wow, almost 4 million in COVID funds by using the Social Security numbers falsely. I know there's always been so much scuttlebutt of late about lack of protection of Social Security numbers, lack of proper categorization of active or inactive Social Security numbers. And some people say, well, they're not taking Social Security, who cares? And we keep drilling home with these fraud law reviews that the fraud that can be done on the rest of the world when Social Security numbers are not properly maintained in the Social Security system can be really, really massive and costly to the American people. And that's just one example. But we've had so many others, and I think there's more coming up because they keep coming in. We don't obviously talk about them all, but okay. So then we had Saturday the 24th, guys, and this was about CDRs and the fact that there is a 60-day appeal limit when you get ceased on a CDR. You can appeal it, and you have the standard 60 days generally. However, there's a 10-day window that you don't want to forget about if you're going to need to continue those benefits pending that appeal, because the appeals can take years. So you either have no benefits coming in, or you can use this 10-day window, which is very small, to request that they continue. So you have to jump on it and be really diligent about it. We go into that a little bit. All right, that's it, guys. Happy Sunday. I hope you had a great week. I hope you have a greater week next week. And I hope your weekend's going good and you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna probably lay low today because I see my voice is going away. I'll talk to you later. Bye. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you all had a great week and a great weekend. Let's have our Sunday Social Security roundup for the week of, looks like Monday the 12th through Saturday the 13th. Okay, so on Monday, where are we at here? This was it was a question about back pay and how to figure it out. And I know it gets a little confusing. So we went over that a little bit with a real example that someone had provided at the live Q&A of probably the prior Wednesday. And again, if you don't know, we are live Wednesdays at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 1 to 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, depending, just to take whatever questions you guys have on Social Security matters. On the 13th, which would be Tuesday, this was a response to concerns about living abroad and some of the challenges that you may have if you're living abroad, and it might depend on the country, while you are claiming Social Security disability. So I go into some of them there, personally having a case like that right now. Okay, so then Wednesday the 14th, this was a little tip and share about ALJ hearing preparation. And on the 15th, this was about CDRs at a particular age and is there a difference? And then Friday, of course, was the Friday fraud law review. This one was about a Philadelphia man in my state here in Pennsylvania who defrauded the USA out of more than $1 million in government benefits, including SNAP and Medicaid, by, of course, using unprotected Social Security numbers. And then Saturday was the replay of the Wednesday live Q&A session. So if you want to hear a bunch of questions and answers on a mishmash of everything, you can hear that replay in full. It has been shortened a little bit, which I'm fortunate enough to be able to do now, to get out some of the silent pieces that just take up time. If you're trying to, watch a replay, it's not fun. So it kind of automatically pulls those out. So those are not there. Things are moving a little bit faster. We live in all the fun stuff, but we get rid of those. All right, that's it, guys. That's it for the week. I hope you had a great week. Have a great weekend, the rest of it, and be safe. And I will see you next week, 9:00 in the morning for the daily video shares, and Wednesdays live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on this channel. Okay? Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thank you for joining and taking a listen to this video. If you have any questions that relate to this or anything else with regard to Social Security, disability, retirement, SSI, etc., please do feel free to post it in the comments below, even if it's not necessarily related to this video. And I will see them. And if it's something I can do a video on, I will be happy to do that. If you are looking for representation in a current battle to prove that you are disabled, whether you have applied yet or not, and ideally, if you have not applied yet, that's when we like to come in and start from the beginning and do our wonders. You can go to joydisability.com, look up to your left, and there's a little link for a free SSD evaluation, and we will take a look at it and let you know one way or the other. If you are looking for a consultation, not representation, or you can't get representation for whatever reason, or it's a non-representational type of issue you need to review, you are more than welcome to order a prepaid consultation. It will be with me personally, and that link is on that same page, joydisability.com, but over on the upper right. Anyway, thanks for staying tuned, and I hope to see you every day, 9 a.m. with our little video shares or live Q&A if you want to join me live on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.